Datin NC John. I'll be attending your grandson wedding on the 20th, Datin. Thank you for inviting me. My good friends, warga Mas, pesara pun warga Mas juga, jadi masuk ke kumpulan warga Mas itu, oke? Dan pembersihan. This morning, I also like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Lee Su-Fuk. You receive Lord. Thank you very much. There will be two ceremonies this morning, then I move on to the launching of the book. But first of all, I'd like to extend on behalf of the Sarah, Persatuan Pesara Kerajaan Sabah, our congratulations to your member, Penampak member, Encik Francis Arifin, who was awarded the Justice of Peace recently. Our rank of people that have got the right qualifications and in a position to help us is becoming more and more. So when Francis passed me the picture of the ceremony at the Istana, was it yesterday, Francis? Saturday. There are 6 pictures, I remember that 6. Then suddenly there is one picture, and there was a lady holding his hand lovingly. And I said, don't tell me that you got a JP and also you got a new one. Then I messaged him, who is that lady with you, that beautiful lady? My daughter, dia bilang. Okay, my apology. But Francis is a friend of ours. He's always more or less like a permanent chairman whenever we have our general meeting, the function that he's performed and is qualified to do it. So we would like to record our appreciation and on behalf of the because we are proud to have among us a JP. Okay, thank you very much. The second part is I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Lee Su-Fuk, who is Captain China. Yeah? He has donated 5 wheelchairs for us to distribute. These are the program of our program. We have distributed wheelchair all over. The last one was, I remember, was in Pune. Donated wheelchair for our pensioners who require wheelchair to move, and it is very useful and it is very thoughtful of Mr. Lee Su-Fuk to be very generous and saya use him. So I don't know, you want to proceed there before I move on to the next stage? Shall we proceed to the presentation of the chair first so that Mr. Lee can go back early? He doesn't have to wait the whole morning for us. Yeah. So where's his wheelchair? Maybe another 20 minutes here. After the introduction by your chairman, Joseph Jominol, and also the speech by the author of the book, Moving On, it seems that I have run out of subject, run out of issue. But there are a few things that I like to mention. Bryan, of course, he's my deputy in the Persatuan. I knew Bryan even in my youth days in Tawong and so on. But after I read the book Moving On, I went on to read 2 more books. Okay? One book was presented to me when we paid courtesy call to the State Secretary, Tuan Hashim, last month. And that book was entitled Finding Jesuit. So I was a bit curious to look at the title, Finding Chesterton, because that book was written by George Chesterton, the great-grandson of the founder of Kota Kinabalu. He was the chairman of the Borneo British Company. The interesting part is that Bryan Lai's grandfather worked for the BNBC. Yes, I found that out in the book after I read it. After I read your book and I realized that Mr. Austin Lai was working for the BNBC in the 50s, early 50s. The second book was written by a lady who is known to me. Her name is Tina Kisil. Tina Kisil wrote a book, Footprints in the Paddy Field. And this book is very colorful. It used a lot of Kadazan language, the Dusun language, the Malay language, the Brunei language, and it is all reading is quite colorful because she went on to explain what each word meant in English. Yeah, like she talked about Sogit, Babazan, Bambarayon, Babahizan, and that sort of thing. She explained in the book. Okay? Now, I don't want to digress too far, but both books and also Bryan Lai's books are what you call narration. It is a moving on story about life. And of course, Bryan, in his book, talk about how he moved to KK after 50 years, growing young in Davao after 50 years, and 29 years as principal of school. So it is a good book. It describes life those days. Yeah? It brings a lot of nostalgia to those who read it. It is a good book that you keep on your bedside and you read it before you go to sleep, or it's just good for reading. It is informative, and it goes back to the days just before the war and after the war. Bryan, of course, was born in 1943, so it was just about that time. I was born 3 years before that. So I find the book interesting because it's informative. For example, I don't know there are so many history in Kampung Pegunungan, that was described in the book as related to Bryan by Lawrence Kisil, Lawrence Missy, not Kisil, Missy. And also it talks about or speaks about those sad days where Bryan described how my father was arrested. Whenever I visit Tenom, I always visit with a very sad memory of what transpired during the war in Tenom to my late father. But I don't want to talk too much about that because it brings bad memory, sad memory, hurtful. But I thank God that my father survived and went on to retire as the director of Telecom. But Bryan, of course, being an author, dramatized a lot of the events, accompanied by some very nice pictures that he has taken or collected from various sources. Towards the end of the day, the book also, I think he sort of designated about this book has got 29 episodes, and he dedicated three episodes to describe the Persatuan Pesara Kerajaan Sabah. Some of you people you may see some of the pictures, handsome picture, pretty pictures. in the book as being incorporated to Bryan in this book. The Persatuan Pesara Kerajaan saya was he in fact in 118 pages. I remember this, Bryan, because I know you assigned or you designated 2 episodes plus Pagunan maybe 3 episodes. Jadi the content of the book is quite a lot of story in Pinampang. At the same time, talks about the Persatuan and our activities and who are the sort of leaders of various districts and so on. So it is informative. I was wondering when I was reading it, and I said, is this a narration of Bryan's life in Tao and when he moved on to KK, or is this because of his membership and the influence of the Persatuan that he and his family make a decision to move out after 50 years in Tao and move to a new environment in KK. Maybe the influence of the Persatuan is there, because he did mention in his book that when he became a member of the Persatuan Pesara, he traveled back and forth between Tao and KK to attend meetings and so on. So maybe the children probably say, you better live nearer to KK where your head office of Persatuan is. So that's the reason, one of the reasons that he decided to move on to KK. Yeah. So I used to like to acknowledge some of the very kind words that Bryan sort of assigned to me in my role in the Persatuan. I think the Persatuan is not only me alone, but there's so many. We have a very strong team, so I am happy to work with the Persatuan. Okay. That in short is a description of the book. It's being marketed now, marketed all over. The Persatuan now, of course, we are now close to about 4,700 members now, Persatuan Pesara, and we will try and promote the book for Bryan and see whether we can encourage him to move on and write another book. So hopefully we will be able to do that through our network of membership, our members all over Sabah. Yeah. I think with that, I don't have to speak very long, because previous to that, Joseph Jominal already gave you the CV of Bryan, and then he also, the author has already spoke about what is expected of the book, what to find in the book. So I have that left me with very little material to speak about the book. Okay, but I can only recommend that it is a good reading, good for get some information and so on about days before and after the war. Okay, so I think I have the pleasure to launch this book this morning. I remember I launched one some time ago. Was it last year? Yeah, the second book. So this is the third book now. So what do you go ahead?
Sebelum kita manggil Datuk untuk meresmikan pelancaran buku ini, saya ingin menjemput Mr. Religious Samuel sebagai sebagai wakil CEO menerima ini daripada